All right, you guys, welcome to the Herb Swamp. Let's talk about chlorophyll today. So, first and foremost, there are hundreds of benefits to chlorophyll. It's not just about this thing or that thing. Let's start with skin health, though. So for skin health, it definitely can improve facial acne. There's tons of studies talking about this, which I'll link a few in the description. Topical use can reduce large pores and wrinkles. Internal use can reduce cytokines, which are immune signals. So if you have like autoimmune issues, things of that nature, just anything inflammatory, anything out of regulation, chlorophyll will help you with that. This reduces the inflammation caused by the acne directly. Internal use can reduce the amount of UV damage received by the skin. I'll talk about this a little bit more later, but you definitely don't want to use this before going into the sun, though. This can be used as an internal deodorant and is quite effective in this regard, so definitely give that a try. There are a lot of people on TikTok talking about this, using this as pretty much a deodorant or mouthwash. Definitely very effective. There are a lot of subreddits talking about this as well if you want to check that out, and there are a few studies which I will link in the description below. All right, let's talk digestive health now. So chlorophyll can improve the ratio between good and bad bacteria in the gut, which is super important. Usually what happens is you take antimicrobials and they do kill off the bad bacteria or whatever, the fungus, the yeast, even sometimes viruses, which can cause digestive problems. But the problem with that is that it completely knocks out your good bacteria. So now, and what they usually typically regrow within about 8 hours. So it's not really what you want. What you have is you knock down everything, and then, bad bacteria can sometimes even grow much faster than the good bacteria for whatever reason. So you really have to foster that balance. You can't really just go in and drop a bomb and hope for the best, because it usually won't work. Chlorophyll is really good in that regard. Chlorophyll can reverse liver fibrosis, which is huge. This is typically done through the reduction in gut inflammation and bacterial translocation. So bacterial translocation is pretty much you're eating food or probiotics or whatever you're taking, and a lot of that, the food particles are going undigested through a faulty gut lining, allowing that bacteria and food to just go right into your body. And this triggers an immune response, which can cause all types of problems and inflammation. You don't want your immune system overworking. There definitely has to be a good balance between the two. An overworked immune system can start reacting to almost everything, causing all sorts of food allergies, like multiple food allergies. I've actually been through this, and it's not fun. So it can be to the point where you're eating just your normal diet and all of a sudden you're allergic to like grapes or something like that. So it's really important to reduce that gut inflammation and stop that bacterial translocation. Chlorophyll seems to really help with healing that. Chlorophyll heals this through its rapid increase in gut wound healing. So that's another part of the puzzle. Like you're reducing the inflammation, but you also want to heal really fast, because if you're letting that stay open, it's just causing so many problems. I mean, there are some scientists and doctors who think that this is the main driver of almost any condition that you can think of, and that if you can effectively seal the gut, you can pretty much reduce dramatically or even reverse certain illnesses. Chlorophyll, like I stated before, can improve leaky gut and protect the gut barrier, as we stated. All right, let's talk about immune health. So chlorophyll has an affinity for the lymphatic system. Now, before I go on, the lymphatic system is where all of your immune cells, not all of them, but a majority of the immune cells, and this lymphatic system goes through your gut, literally there are nodes all over your body. Sometimes they will swell if you have an infection and things like that, and you may have had this happen at some point in life. All right, so let's continue. So it has an affinity for that lymphatic system. So what happens is when you ingest the chlorophyll, it goes up through your lymphatic system and kind of chills out there for a few days. So as it's there, because chlorophyll does seem to balance out bacteria, viruses, and pathogens, it has an intense effect there. And I've actually, through an illness that I actually had some help with chlorophyll in reducing some lymphatic swelling after I had some tooth work done and a few other things. So chlorophyll is absolutely great for lymphatic swelling. It also oxygenates the blood, so that's super important, and it's very helpful for just clearing things out. I mean, it's just like amazing. Chlorophyll can also reduce fibrosis in certain parts of the body via the effects on the immune cytokine TGF-B, which the B stands for beta, which is known to induce fibrosis. So TGF-B is literally the main driver. There are so many studies referencing TGF-beta. And when I say fibrosis, this could be, PCOS or just regular fibroid issues, even lymph fibrosis and things like that. All sorts of fibrosis. It's typically you can go back to TGF beta as the source for these issues. So this is very interesting. I don't know. I've never seen this mentioned. I had to really do some research to find this out. But zinc, I'm not even going to pronounce the second word, which is a derivative of chlorophyll, can act as an ionophore and inhibit viruses directly. Go ahead and pause this video and take note of that form of zinc. It's it's not one that you'd find in the store, and it is in chlorophyll, in chlorophyll in its whole form, because there are chlorophyll derivatives. If you get a full broad spectrum chlorophyll, it will have this form of zinc in there. They also may have zinc derivatives. I'll try to find some and link them in the description below, which will have this form of zinc specifically. But anyway, if you just get a good broad spectrum chlorophyll supplement, or even eating foods high in chlorophyll, you will be getting this form of zinc. So it can act as an ionophore. And if you don't know what an ionophore is, it literally allows certain molecules, in this instance zinc, to enter the cells, because sometimes the zinc will stay outside of the cells and in the blood. And that's kind of not where you want it. If it can get into the cells, which usually you would need an ionophore, such as quercetin or others, I think green tea extract is also an ionophore, so you may want to look into that. It can kind of join in with zinc and push it into the cell. So if you get that into the cell, you can inhibit viruses directly, thereby strengthening your defenses against other invaders. So if you don't have to deal with a certain virus, your immune system is free to deal with other things, because it can only do so much at once. All right, so let's talk about the best sources of chlorophyll. So first is spinach, obviously. Broccoli, kale, green apples, kiwi, avocado, and pretty much almost any green edible plant food. If you don't want to get it from plant foods and you're just kind of on the go all the time, go ahead and invest in a chlorophyll supplement, which I will link a few in the description below. Please disregard the bio. I meant description. Potential side effects of chlorophyll. So topical use of chlorophyll, as I mentioned before, can cause sun sensitivity. So it's best used at night. You don't want to use this and then go outside. I mean, it probably wouldn't work out anyway, because it's green. So the best way to use chlorophyll is topically, I would say, is in a mask, in the evening, as long as there's no sun out. Even if you're indoors for most of the day, I would not use this during the daytime. There are windows and different sources of light, UV light coming into your home, regardless of whether you know it or not. So definitely use this at night. Now, Internal use at higher than recommended doses can cause more digestive movement. And I said movement specifically because it's not digestive issues per se. It's just if you take higher doses, you'll definitely notice more noise and more frequent bowel movements, but not necessarily in a diarrhea type of format. It'll be more of a metabolic type of movement. So you're pretty much going to be moving waste and toxins, and you will literally, you can definitely tell that it's the chlorophyll, and it's because it can stain the teeth and digestive tract. Although this is usually harmless, it's almost always harmless. So as you take the chlorophyll, you will notice that you have green stools, and it's going to be a little bit weird, and it can continue as long as you're taking the chlorophyll. But most of us at some point in life or another have had green stools and have been a little confused by it. So it was likely in the past, if you weren't supplementing, it was probably due to your diet, eating a large bowl of spinach or something of the sort. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and I will be back with more videos like this soon. I will still be talking about the legalization efforts of cannabis, so please stay tuned for that as well. All right,